Welcome to my first episode of Campfire Tales. This is the story of Red Jack. Jack was a nerd. He went to high school like everybody does. And one day he walked up to his crush, the most beautiful girl in school, and told her that he had undying love for her. And she agreed to go out with him. She gave him a kiss. Well, the popular jock did not like this one bit. He gathered a group of his friends, and they went and grabbed Jack and drug him into the bathroom, into the showers, and strapped him to a pole. They all made fun of him and kicked him. Then they turned the water on as hot as it could possibly go, and pointed them all at him. Jack's skin burned off, leaving only muscle and blood below. They made fun of him, kicking him more and calling him Red Jack. Hours later, he was found by a janitor and taken to the hospital. The bullies were never held accountable. Later that week, Jack was screaming in the hospital bed. Later that night, the nurses noticed that Jack's screams stopped, so they went in to check on him. He was gone, and there was only 2 words written on his bed in blood: Red Jack. Later that day, it was discovered that everyone that bullied Jack was found ripped apart in their bedrooms. Only 2 words on every one of their walls: Red Jack. And Jack was never found again. The back seat. A young woman is driving home after a night out with her friends, and a car pulls up along behind her and starts flashing its lights, and the man is waving his hand outside the window. He keeps pace with her, and she tries to get away, but he follows her all the way home. When she gets out and holds up her can of mace, he gets out of the car, frantically screaming, "Run, run, get inside, call the police, there's a man in the back of your car, run!" The hook. A young girl is getting ready for a date. Her and her boyfriend drive out to the middle of nowhere, and they hear on the radio that there's a man with a hook that had escaped from a state asylum. The radio warns people to be on the lookout, and later that night, the youngsters are on a beautiful lookout. They are making out and kissing. The girl gets a bad feeling and decides she wants to go home and protests to her boyfriend. He reluctantly agrees and backs the car out of the parking spot. There's a thud. They keep driving, thinking that they ran over a root or a branch. They drive down the road back to her house. She gets out of the car and looks on the door handle and sees the hook. The hitchhiking woman. Tom, headed home from a party, sees a woman walking alone on the side of a road. He stopped to offer her a ride home. She graciously accepts and gets in his car. He notices the woman is shivering and offers her his jacket. Once he arrives at her house, he looks over to speak to her and notices that she has disappeared. He returns the next day to the woman's house to retrieve his jacket. He realized that she had never given it back. He talks to a woman inside the house, and she says that that girl has been dead for over 10 years. Doggy lick. A young girl left alone for the first time when her parents went out for dinner. And as she gets ready for bed, she's a little scared to be sleeping alone. For comfort, she lowers her hand under her bed, where her dog usually lays, and her dog licks her hand, as he always does. Throughout the night, she can hear the dog whimpering, and each time, she lowers her hand and lets it lick her hand. The morning comes. She wakes up, goes downstairs, and finds out that the dog has been downstairs, outside, all night. Who had been licking her hand? The clown. A babysitter was hired to watch 2 children for the night, and after she put the kids to bed, the parents asked if she'd only watch TV in their bedroom so they wouldn't wake up the children. So, she laid in their bed and watched TV. But in the corner of that room, there was a life-size clown statue. She tried to ignore it, but it was just too creepy. She finally called the dad and asked if she can watch TV downstairs in the living room. He said, "Sure, but why?" She said, "I can't stand that creepy clown statue that's in your bedroom." He said, "What statue? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even like clowns." Then he said, "Wait, in my bedroom? There's no statue in my bedroom. Get the children. Get them out of the house now. Please, for the love of God, get the children out." She ran and got the children and took them out in the front yard while she was calling 911. She looked up and into the parents' bedroom's window and saw the clown waving back at her with a creepy grin. The police came, but they didn't find anybody. Just the words, "Ha ha," written on the wall in white face paint. Please comment them below, and I will do my best to do them in the next video. Thank you, and remember, don't shoot the messenger.